Om Sthapakaya cha dharmasya sarvadharmasvarupine avataravarishtaya Ramakrishnaya te namaha. We were discussing about the ego of a realized soul, what happens to the Kama, Krodha and all that, the ego which is supporting all that, what happens to that? Sri Ramakrishna says, it will have just a semblance as if it is real in him. But when we see inside nothing, it's empty. Another example, beautiful example he gives is like a rope which has got burnt. We see a rope, if you light it from one side, the fire goes on burning. The rope remains as it is, in the same shape, it is burnt. And it has a semblance of a rope. Anybody sees a rope, as if a rope is fallen there. Oof, if you do, it will fly away. All those appearance of anger, this, that will be there. Inside, it is fully clean, like a newborn child's heart. Even after attaining samadhi, some retain the servant ego or the devotee ego. Even after attaining samadhi. Attaining samadhi means he has already transcended all limits and gone beyond. The entire nature. Samadhi is a state where he has transcended all aspects of nature. In every respect, he has transcended the nature. The bhakta keeps this I consciousness. Bhakta, devotee, I am a devotee of God. He says, O God, thou art the master and I am thy servant. Thou art the Lord and I am thy devotee. We saw how difficult it is for us to follow. Say, I am a devotee, I am a servant. Do I follow all the instructions of God? To say I am servant. Servant follows every instruction of his master. So, to have the attitude, Aham dasosmi, dasosmi. Aham dasosmi, dasoham tava. To tell means I totally accept what my master is telling. Every verdict of God. Suppose you take Bhagavad Gita, what all Krishna has told to Arjuna, what all he is expecting from a jiva, he verbatim follows. He feels that way even after the realization of God. Because that is the path and that is the end also. That his I is not completely effaced. Again, by constantly practicing this kind of consciousness, I consciousness, one ultimately attains God. This is called Bhakti Yoga. The path that he takes is, I am your servant, I am your servant. And finally, he actually becomes the servant of God. Yeah, he realizes it, telling, I am your servant, I am servant. Accept me as I am, with all my defects I am coming to you. Accept me. He goes on telling, I am your devotee, I am your child. Don't neglect me. Save from this world. Goes on telling. And he is indifferent to the extent he is indifferent to the world. I am not finding any difficulty with the world. The first sign of a devotee is he doesn't have a complaint against this world. Till we come to that state, because God is ruling this world. How can there be any imperfection? In a king's kingdom, some are in the jail, some are in the minister group, some are on the opposite sides of the as enemies. But he's handling everyone, he's keeping everyone in their place, and whatever whoever deserves, and in and through all that, there are cheats, there are false people, everything. There are good people also. He's struggling in every way to make these bad people good in his kingdom. Enemies are there. He wants to get rid of the enemies, not by all means, by transforming them to be friends. Finally, if it fails, he may, but he wants everywhere peace and joy. So is the God. He wants all bad people to become. Everybody is bound by his own past experiences and past tendencies they have developed. Each is his past, what he is a balance sheet of the whole past. You cannot do anything to make him change. You have to give a lot of love, care, sacrifice for him. Give him the proper knowledge that transforms him to be good. It's easy to comment. It's easy to tell he's in the wrong path. What have you done for him? Did you spend few nights praying for him? Did you weep at the feet of God? Yeah, I saw a bad person. He's on the wrong path. Please save him. Did I weep? No. Freely I comment, he is bad boy. It will not fetch anything except I acquire those qualities, because unless I have that qualities, I cannot recognize it. A child doesn't recognize it. I have been able to recognize bad as bad because that I know what is bad. Its knowledge is already there. It awakens slowly it awakens that bad in me without my knowledge, because the knowledge of bad is there and it is getting watered each time. And I will be a shareholder of his. I saw him doing bad and I did not pray. I become a shareholder of his. I have to do something. If I cannot teach him, I cannot transform him, but I can pray for him. Because I've seen it happen in front of my eyes. Purandaradasa says in one of his songs, Avana bayyuve eke, avan yaro, neen yaro, avana papake neenu bhagiyade. He is someone person, unrelated to you. You saw, avana bayyuve eke, avan yaro, neen yaro. He is some person. You have seen, just offer it to God. Pray for him and walk forth. Don't waste your time in trying to manage this world. Transcend this world and go. Somehow struggle to transcend nature, inner nature, external nature. I have kama, krodha, lobha, all this. When will I solve my own problems? Old age is going to come. External nature is there. So both I have to transcend. Where is the time to look at others, what is they are doing? So call on God, quickly finish, transcend. When you transcend the nature and come back and see this world, which you saw as good and bad, is no more there. God everywhere, divine everywhere, one God, like one mind has become all things in dream, one God has become all that is this universe. So he sees, after coming back, coming from samadhi, it's called vyuthana. In vyuthana sthiti, he sees everything is God. The good man is also God, bad man also God. Everything. the right, wrong. Just like in dream, whatever you see in dream, whether good man or bad man, whatever you see in dream is just your own mind. Except mind, nothing is there in dream. It's kalpanika jagat, made up of mind. There is no difference between good man and bad man in dream. When you wake up, you will see there were no two at all. There was one reality. Like that you see the divine everywhere. That ego which comes down from samadhi and sees divine, then he totally accepts. Oh, how you transformed me from an ignorant person who was chasing this world. You have made me a realized soul to see divine everyone, everywhere. And from him flows only for the rest of his existence love for everyone, irrespective of their behavior and qualities. I love everyone. It flows only love and blessings. So this person is extremely grateful to God for having brought out from that great ignorance to this state of everlasting peace, joy and bliss. So he is really a soul. Karma doesn't bind him. He is free. Nature cannot bind him in any way. But he sees one strange thing here, that God is responsible for all this knowledge he has given. He expresses his gratitude. Oh Lord, I am your eternal servant. I am your eternal servant. You have given this knowledge to me. Who else can give? I am your eternal servant. The ego remains in this world as the eternal servant of God. By constantly practicing this kind of I consciousness, one ultimately attains God. This is called Bhakti Yoga. One can attain knowledge of Brahman too by following the path of Bhakti. God is all-powerful, omnipotent. He may give his devotee Brahmajnana also, if he so wills, but the devotee generally does not seek the knowledge of the Absolute. He would rather have the consciousness that God is master and he is the servant, or that God is divine mother and he is the child. We in Jnanapath, a devotee, a aspirant, spiritual aspirant who is aspiring for jnana, he avoids or he bypasses the Savikalpa Samadhi, seeing the personal aspect of God. God, if I want God to see within me, I am there. This bodily existence is there. I want to see within me. I have to transcend all the layers, Annamaya, Pranamaya, Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Anandamaya, and enter to the depths of my being where I go into sleep. This is called meditation. I turn inward and start moving to the core of my existence. Servant. In Jnanapatha, he goes and avoids a realm where God can manifest with name and form and qualities. Nama Rupa Guna. The heart is a place, the Anahata Chakra is a place where God manifests, prakat, manifests with form, name, form and qualities. The Brahmajnani, he wants the knowledge of the absolute, impersonal God he wants to realize. He bypasses that. He pierces through the and goes to the other side. He transcends and goes to the other side. And he doesn't. The same thing, non-dual experience. If a bhakta goes, he goes first, he wants to see his Lord with name, form, his Ishtadevata. He wants to see God in the form of his Ishtadevata. And with say all the qualities, there is quality is there, Rupa is there, Nama is there. He wants to see God in that form. So after seeing God, where does God available? In the realm of Prakriti, nature. Within the nature, beyond the Jiva Tattva. I am body, my bodily existence, leaving my bodily existence. I am transcending beyond. I am in the Prakriti Tattva. In Prakriti Tattva, God can manifest. He goes to that level of consciousness. He leaves the lower three levels of consciousness. Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura. He raises to the Anahata and sees the form of God. And God has form. He too has form. There. This form is the form that is created by the will of God. And it's called Prema Sharira. Just like we have in dream, Swapna Sharira. In waking, the Sthula Sharira. In Samadhi, we will have Prema Sharira. Body made up of love. This love body is with which he interacts with God. When he enters into Vijnanamaya Kosha, where the God manifests with form, he will not have body at all. Only mind has merged in intellect, buddhi, manas has merged in buddhi, and buddhi with ahankara embedded in it, like gem embedded in a gold ornament. The eye is embedded in that buddhi. And with Pancha Jnanendriya, he is entering into Savikalpa Samadhi. He experiences God. When he sees God, he wants to go in touch. He wants to feel. Then he automatically from his longing projects a love body. With this love body, he interacts with God. He has a form similar to this form, but it is not matter, physical matter. It is in dream, I have a Swapna Sharira, the dream body made up of mind. This is made of matter. Similarly in Samadhi, it's a body made up of love, Prema Sharira. With the Prema Sharira, he interacts with God. Then trying to become one with God in every respect, he loses his form, God loses his form, and they move towards Ekarasa, to become one. There we see they are transcending the duality, they are transcending the name and form, they are transcending all aspects of nature and entering into Brahmajnana. The devotee will never have lack of any kind of knowledge. He will have the Savikalpa Samadhi also, he will have the Nirvikalpa Samadhi also. Brahmajnani bypasses the Savikalpa Samadhi of seeing God with name and form and goes beyond, like going through a bypass and reaching a particular destination. The journey of a bhakta is so beautiful at every level. The path tread by jnani is most difficult one. Everywhere is to tear and separate, throw away and walk, telling neti, neti, not this, not this. In denial and rejection is the path of jnana. And in path of bhakti, acceptance and transcendence. He accepts everything. He accepts a family. He accepts the challenges of the world. He works in the world. He earns his own living. He does sadhana, attains God. accepts but transcends, go beyond, transcendence. Your acceptance, live in the world and go beyond it. They reject the world and go beyond it. This is the main difference we see in the jnana and bhakti. It's bhakta because he has the God, the absolute, has condensed itself to take form for the sake of bhakta. The grossification God does of himself to present himself to the bhakta. And here we see the same. He is all capable. He is omnipresent, omniscient, omnipotent. He can give his all. Sri Ramakrishna says, once you transcend the nature and realize God, you will not have any dearth for any kind of knowledge. Every knowledge you will have of God, you don't lack anything, including the Brahma Jnana. God shows him various forms. When each time he goes to Vikalpa Samadhi, you want to see when I was Rama, how I looked like? You want to see when I was Krishna, how I looked like? Do you want to see when I was Vamana, how I looked like? Various forms, various aspects he presents. Last he says, I will show you my Nirguna Nirakara also. He takes him to the Nirvikalpa Samadhi, where there is no duality. He has become with God, God has become with him one. There are no dualities. There is no dearth of any kind for a bhakta, whether when he comes back and lives in the same body or when he transcends and go beyond. So here we see Sri Ramakrishna is telling one can attain Brahma Jnana also. Vijay. But those who discriminate according to Vedanta philosophy also realize him in the end. Do they? But those who discriminate according to Vedanta philosophy also realize him in the end. Do they, Master? Yes. One may reach him by following the path of discrimination too. That is called Jnana Yoga. But it is an extremely difficult path. I have told you already of the 7 planes of consciousness. The 7 planes of consciousness is discussed. The lower 3 planes, Muladhara, Swadhisthana, Manipura, pertaining to Jiva Tattva. And above, crossing the Jiva Tattva, coming out of the Jiva Tattva, he reaches the upper 2, the Anahata and Vishuddha in the Prakriti Tattva, and goes beyond to the Shiva Tattva, where he experiences another 2 planes of existence, that is Agnya and Sahasrara. Jiva Tattva, the lower 3 centers of consciousness or levels of consciousness, the middle 2 pertaining to Prakriti Tattva, and top 2 pertaining to the Shiva Tattva or divine realm of spirit, realm of Jiva with his karmic load, realm of Prakriti, nature, realm of the spirit, Chaitanya. So we see him passing through these 7 planes we have discussed in detail. On reaching the 7th place, mind goes into Samadhi. If the man acquires the firm knowledge, see here one thing we must remember is, it is not Kundalini Yoga. By awakening Kundalini and passing through the 7 planes of consciousness, Muladhara, Swami, each, just like I am every day I'm passing through 3 layers of consciousness, 3 levels of consciousness, Jagrat, Swapna, Shushupti. I am waking state, dreaming state and deep sleep. Every day I am passing through and returning back. But each experience Each layer of consciousness, each level of consciousness is entirely different from other, unrelated to each other. I am passing through from waking to dreaming, there is no comparison at all. Dreaming to deep sleep, I am entering into another level of consciousness. They are not, you cannot compare the three. I am entirely different. Like that, when you go to the higher level of consciousness, here we see this consciousness, I can awaken Kundalini and pass through all the chakras and attain the same experiences at the same level. Through Jnana Yoga also, he passes through the same experience without awakening the Kundalini. He will not know Kundalini is awakened. He passes through all those levels of consciousness, experiences all the 7 layers of consciousness. In Bhakti Yoga also, he passes through all the 4 levels of consciousness. He doesn't lack any level of consciousness. He will not recognize he is passing through the various levels of consciousness. He is passing through, but he doesn't recognize. Because its purpose is not to recognize that. Just like I am passing through walking also, I am passing through particular stations. In train also, I am passing through the same places. By bus also, I am passing through. In some I recognize, I need not recognize. My goal is different. While walking alone, I am clear. Oh, I am passing through, I am passing through, I am through. When I go through flight, I will never know I passed through the centers also. These places. Like that, when I pass through the various levels of consciousness, the 7 planes of consciousness through Jnana Yoga, I will not know I have passed through, but I am passing through every layer of consciousness. Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Tat Sat Shri Ramakrishna Arpanamastu.